She says, acknowledged her privilege as a white person in a league built on the contributions of black players.
Did you catch Caitlin Clark's recent comments on white privilege? Her statement has sparked a heated debate in the basketball world, with opinions sharply divided. Patrick Bet-David is fired up, claiming Clark has been misled, while others are applauding her for speaking her truth. Let's delve into this controversy to uncover what's real.
That's how they roll. That WNBA is woke as shit. The NBA is woke as shit. And they had to tell her, you better change your thing or we're not going to get behind you 100%.
Happening. Caitlin Clark has been amazing this season, breaking records like crazy. She now holds the most points ever in NCAA Division I, and her WNBA assists have been incredible. Time even named her Athlete of the Year. It's no surprise. But what really got people talking was something she said in an interview. Clark opened up about white privilege and how it influenced her success, while also giving heartfelt credit to the black players who came before her. Pretty powerful, right?
She said, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of these players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league is kind of built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think that's important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
Let's hear her full message. The internet exploded after that. Some fans praised Caitlin Clark, calling her brave for addressing a tough topic, while others weren't impressed, accusing her of pushing an agenda. Even players jumped in, sharing mixed opinions. Then, AJA Wilson, another basketball superstar, made a bold statement.
Told the Associated Press she thought Clark's race was a huge contributor to her popularity. It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is.
She claimed Clark's popularity isn't just about her skill, it's also about race. Wilson didn't hold back, saying black women often overlooked no matter how much they achieve. Now, everyone's questioning what this means for Clark. Will it boost her popularity?
And that quote, you guys, is the one that has been just all over social media. Everyone's chiming in. There are so many people that are saying, it's too little too late. She should have said all of this stuff 2 years ago. There are people saying that she shouldn't have said this stuff at all. Why is she not contributing her success to hard work? Why is she contributing it to her skin color? It's exhausting at this point.
Or hurt her fan base. And what about her sponsors? The basketball world is on edge, waiting to see how it all plays out. This is no longer just about Caitlin Clark. It sparked a broader debate about race and privilege in women's basketball, with many questioning who gets the spotlight. Let's dive into some expert opinions, which are quite polarizing. Patrick Bet-David, a well-known entrepreneur and host of a popular business podcast, recently shared his thoughts on the Caitlin Clark controversy. Though not a typical sports commentator, his opinions carry weight. Before addressing Clark's situation, he and his co-host discussed AJA Wilson's comments. Bet-David didn't hold back, calling the WNBA.
She didn't win. Is she a good player? Sure. The WNBA is a zombie company that loses money year in and year out. I actually have good news.
What?
They were projected to lose $50 million this year. But because of Caitlin Clark and all her great success, they only lost $40 million this year.
Hey.
Amazing. Great job, Caitlin. Thank you. So there it is. They lost $40 million. Name me a company that continually loses money. Let's give her a trophy because we only lost $10 million less than we expected. It's an absolute joke. It's absolutely absurd.
A zombie company that's consistently losing money. He pointed out that while the league was projected to lose $50 million this year, it only lost $40 million, sarcastically crediting Clark for the improvement. This was a direct jab at AJA Wilson, suggesting the league's financial struggles aren't new and implying that framing Caitlin Clark's success as white privilege is absurd. They went further, discussing Clark's comments on white privilege.
The whole notion that She's just been given white privilege. Really? Okay. Tell that to the greatest black female athletes of all time. Tell that to Serena Williams, the greatest female tennis player of all time. Tell that to FloJo or Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the greatest track and field athletes of all time. Tell that to Lisa Leslie or Diana Taurasi, the WNBA greatest players of all time. Tell that to the greatest gymnast of all time, Simone Biles. It's absolute ridiculous, and she fell for it. She fell for the DEI LGBT thing rather than MEI.
Pointing to athletes like Serena Williams in tennis and Simone Biles in gymnastics, black women who've dominated sports historically led by white athletes. It raises the question.
She deserved where she was at because she was a good player. But I have one suggestion for you, Caitlin. You're making, I think, I don't know what.
Sponsors are ridiculous.
She makes, I don't know, maybe 150 grand, 250 grand. She makes 24 million, 28 million from her Nike deal.
Yeah.
Go donate that to the rest of your homegirls out there.
Yeah.
That if you actually want to change the narrative, go donate all your money, Caitlin.
Why isn't their success ever labeled as black privilege? They're not buying the white privilege argument at all. Patrick Bet-David even took it a step further, suggesting that if Caitlin Clark truly wants to support the WNBA with kindness, she should consider sharing her salary. Patrick Bet-David acknowledged that Caitlin Clark deserved her success because she's a great player. However, he had a bold suggestion. If she truly wants to make a difference, she should donate her earnings to her fellow athletes.
You know what, Caitlin? You didn't make it to the WNBA because of the color of your skin. You played because you worked your ass off. Hours in the gym, sweat, sacrifice, and everything. It's not some imaginary head start that you got. Okay, let's be honest with each other. If this was a white privilege was a thing, every broke ass white person in Middle America would be dunking on all of us.
Athletes in the WNBA. He pointed out that while she might make $150,000 to $250,000 from her salary, her Nike deal alone is worth $24 to $28 million. If you really want to change the narrative, Caitlin, go donate all your money, he said. Now, people are debating whether Bet-David has a point or if he's completely off base.
I think somebody, Adam, she didn't change it. Somebody talked to her. Remember all the girls that were just all talking shit about her from the beginning? This was the tune change because that's how they roll.
Take is definitely controversial, but it gets even more interesting when you hear what his co-host had to say. Clark's mention of white privilege, the co-host doesn't buy it at all. He believes her success comes down to hard work, plain and simple. The hours in the gym, the sacrifices, and the sweat are what he thinks set her apart, not privilege. This perspective.
I don't mind this winning. I actually want to see WNBA do well. But what she just did is exactly why I haven't watched a minute of an NBA game this year. I'm done. I'm unattracted. When NBA did the BLM thing and all this stuff in their NBA field said BLM, and they were bitching about everything that's going on, and DeSantis is a bad guy, yet you did your NBA playoffs in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay, where it's the only state that would allow you to do it, and then you want to bitch about bad policies of Florida? You came to Florida.
Yeah.
I was done with the NBA.
Is sparking even more discussion. Look at the WNBA, and you'll see incredible athletes from diverse backgrounds. AJA Wilson, Brittany Griner, Elena Del Dunn. They're all at the top of their game, and they all come from different walks of life. So if race isn't the issue, why did Caitlin Clark say what she did? The co-host of Patrick Bet-David's podcast has a pretty wild theory. He believes there might be more going on behind the scenes than we realize. This adds yet another layer to the ongoing debate and leaves everyone wondering what's really driving the conversation. Did you catch that? The co-host believes Caitlin Clark was persuaded to make those comments. Now, everyone's left wondering, does he have a point? If he's right, it could completely change how we view the WNBA and its stars. But hold on, there's more. Patrick Bet-David is about to share his final take on the whole situation. And trust me, you'll want to hear what he has to say. He kicked things off by saying, there's a catch. Patrick Bet-David has some serious issues with what he calls woke messaging in sports. He says the constant talk about privilege and victimhood is really turning him off. In fact, he even went as far as saying that Caitlin Clark's comments made him not want to watch any WNBA games. That's a pretty...
What an unattractive acceptance speech. What an unattractive acceptance speech by a 22-year-old that's being fed all this stuff. Such a big turnoff. I'm so disappointed. I was wanting to take my girls to a Indiana Fever game this year courtside to watch her play. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm so upset and disappointed with this.
You and me both.
Why can't you just not make a comment like that?
Strong reaction, right? So, what exactly is Bet David's issue with Clark's remarks? He believes the discussion around white privilege is just noise that distracts from what truly matters, the game itself. He wants the WNBA to focus on basketball, not social issues.
Would you like conservatives to watch the game?
Of course they would.
Would you like capitalists to watch the game?
Yep.
Would you like libertarians to watch the game?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like independents? Or would you like Republicans to watch the game? You don't want them to watch the game, and you want to keep using them? No problem. Go ahead. Just have your liberal audience watching WNBA. Go ahead. Do your thing. Not interested.
It's like he's saying, hey, just play basketball and leave the politics out of it. Now, you might be wondering what Bet David thinks Clark should have said instead. Well, he has a pretty clear idea. He feels Clark missed a big opportunity to inspire people. Rather than talking about privilege, Bet David wanted to hear Clark say something like, look, I've worked really hard and I deserve to be here. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Bet David isn't just talking about Clark. He's making a broader point. He says this whole victimhood mentality
Should have been like, hey, please, say what you say. Try to say something to the American. I love America. Greatest country in the world. That's all you have to say. Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Yeah.
She loves the country. She loves America. I'm willing to support. You want to say, yeah, but I have white privilege? Dude, we're out. So you just lost that part.
I see exactly what you're saying, how you want to segment different things.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah, you
it's
can have
all
that,
baked
yeah.
in the cake.
I got
It's
you.
all baked in the cake, and
Well,
this is why this league
listen.
will never succeed.
is a major turnoff for parents like him. He can't stand these messages about being a victim, finding them annoying and unattractive. And get this, he says he doesn't want to applaud anyone who speaks like that. So, what does all of this mean for the future of women's sports? Well, Bet David's take is pretty clear. He believes the WNBA should focus on the game itself and highlight the hard work of its players. He envisions a league where the sport is the main focus, and anyone, no matter their background or ideology,